this is something that I've never done before. And this, it's pretty hard to start, but yeah, I've never done this before, but I'm going to be reading something to you. Wow. I've never done that before. Actually, no, I have. I read some description from a deviant art piece. I probably shouldn't have done that. It's probably weird. But to show that I mean business, here is a noise from the soundboard. That is a website of a soundboard. Anyways, I got this idea from a YouTuber who I will name, known as Mitsu ASMR. I listened to one of their videos of reading scary stories from this website called Nightscribe, and it actually got me interested in scary stuff. So, I don't know why I'm nervous, but I'm going to read. I want to read a short story. I want to know what I got here. Just going through, seeing what I got in here on this homepage. There is a story that called Burnt Luigi. It's 2 hours and 2 minutes. Don't really got time for that. And whoever read that, you must be very good at writing, because there's no way I could write something that's like 2 hours long. I want to read something that's relatively short to start, because I've never really done this before, so let's see what we can do. Can I use is there like search filters? Maybe a 4-minute read? 4 minute, probably. No, I got nothing. Well, there is one called Cryptid Zoo. So, I'm going to read this. It is called Cryptid Zoo by JosephTheSnail. It's a 3.7 stars. Alright. Alright. Let me get my voice acting voice. My voice acting voice. Alright. I'm pretty sure most people have heard of the Appalachian Mountains. That place is a hotspot for unsettling encounters. Yes, I know, how cliche, but yes. I found this location there while visiting the place for some sightings I wanted to capture and to upload to YouTube. The place is incredibly obscure, miles off any trail, and was only accessible through an old, half-collapsed railway tunnel. And its only history was how this site was built as a black site research lab during the Cold War to, quote, study anomalous wildlife, using regional folklore as camouflage. I went with a buddy, knowing I was going alone, but even with the two of us, finding that tunnel was a nightmare. The internet and locals were no help. Heck, the maps of the mountains had the location blank. The only way in was that tunnel I mentioned earlier. Like I did, it might be reachable other ways, but it's nearly impossible. But to those curious, I'm going to be specific for a reason. Reasons you will see in a minute. As we both traveled to the site, it appeared to be a shady-looking, doorless warehouse type place. On the outside, with the spray-painted words, "Cryptid Zoo, do not enter." We both broke one of the biggest rules in horror. Never enter a place marked "Do not enter." But the worst part is how we didn't even hesitate. Whew, okay. Take a moment before I start reading this paragraph. I'm very shaky. Anyone else shaky? Let me know. Whew. Probably because I'm on camera. But, alright. On the inside, it looked like a mix between a rusting carnival, broken down wildlife center, and a war bunker. The inside was a massive liminal space and looked like a typical abandoned place. On the ground, I saw a pamphlet that seemed to have been made by a child with "Meet the Cryptid! Meet the Cryptids!" written on the top. It looked like something a kid might draw for a field trip to a zoo, except it appeared crossed out and torn. One page had deep claw marks through it. Someone tried to destroy it. Hold on. Oxygen. Sorry. Unless it was part of the exhibit. A friend called me over to at the entrance and told me to check the visitor logs. They showed that nobody had signed in since 1993. And as we discovered these, we heard some metal clangs deep within the zoo. We went forward into the hallway, and there was a strange smell. It smelled coppery and earthy. I don't know how to describe it, but it was strange. We saw a flickering light, and one of the cameras we thought was turned off was still somehow tracking us, even though it was positive that nobody was here with us as we came in, aside from the drawing on the ground. Remember what I said about the exhibits? They were questionable and quickly got disturbing as we went deeper. We were on level 1 of the exhibit, the place that holds the more tame-looking cryptids, or at least animals, that appeared identical to them, with a poster with the text and the photo of the cryptid of what it was supposed to resemble. We didn't take photos at all. Starting off, we saw a Bigfoot, which was a large gorilla with patched fur. Excuse me. But we saw some surgical scars and enhanced-looking limbs. It just stared at me. It didn't behave like a gorilla. Didn't blink once. Then I looked into the next cryptid, the Loch Ness Monster. It was just a European eel, a giant one, inside an opaque tank. As we got close, it moved. It had one milky eye. We just stared. Then we saw the Kraken, which of course was actually a squid, but with glowing tags embedded in its flesh. It was sluggish, twitching, arms that appeared sewn on. What made me jump was some red eyes staring at us, appearing from the dark aviary. It was what was supposed to be the Mothman, but as I pulled out a flashlight, it was just a sandhill crane. I heard some strange clicking noises from its throat. Then the final cryptid of the first level was the chupacabra. It was very thin and weak. Oh, wait. Oh, there. It was a very thin and weak wild dog with bat-like ears. It didn't bark. It just sobbed. And the cage appeared. Something was wrong with these animals. I couldn't help but feel horrible for them. They appeared to be experimented on to look like the cryptids. But I pressed onto the second level. Something was starting to definitely feel wrong. Whew. Throat's getting a little dry. I need some water in a minute. Pause the recording in a bit. Starting off with the bunyip. It appeared to be some bloated amphibious creature of some kind. I didn't know what it was because it was just in a tank full of black water. I didn't bother checking thoroughly, but it made no sound. Then I saw the thunderbird. It was a massive bird oh, my bad. It was a massive bird that had stitched features and some metal on its wings. It just stared at me again. Many of the creatures here were staring at me. Some were angry, thinking I was the guy that made them this way. As I backed away, I told my friend to be careful, as an elk, forced to pose like a human, swatted at me and had his head replaced with a deer skull, with antlers poking out. I knew what this creature was supposed to represent. It was a Wendigo. But due to its anger, it scratched the poster on the wall that said so. The appearance of it disturbed me a lot because its It straight up surgically had its head cut off and replaced with the skull, with its brain and important nerves to the head left intact. Then I noticed something. It wasn't just swatting at me. It wasn't just swatting at me. It started trying to break the cage it was inside of. And then it started to open up, and the creature tried to climb out. We ran away towards the third part of the exhibit, hoping at the very end we could find the exit. We were met with a disturbing scene. We saw the only people in the building, or at least what's left of them. I saw what was supposed to be a skinwalker. An actor was dressed as one. We could tell he was a male. He was incredibly pale and twitchy, wearing ripped animal clothing. And we were locked behind inside padded enclosures. We didn't dare to approach him. His eyes never blinked. He kept whispering things we didn't understand. My friend muttered, "Don't look at him." We just kept moving. Then we heard him scream. We covered our ears. But in the corner we were met with another actor. A thin and weak-looking person. A thin and weak-looking person who was clearly meant to resemble the infamous pale crawlers. He was also a male and appeared naked. But the private areas were clearly surgically pulled off and replaced with some of the skin. The mouth was stuck in a permanent silent scream. I didn't know why, but he was just there inside of the cage, banging his head on the wall as we watched. We just kept going because there was growling behind us. The Wendigo creature was behind us as we ran towards the back room, which appeared as this liminal space and appeared somewhat cleaner compared to the rest of the building. There were labels on the walls written, "Do not proceed past this point. Unauthorized personnel only." We, as usual, didn't listen because we were idiots. And simply because there was an angry creature behind us, so we kind of had no choice. We found a door and closed it behind us in front of the creature. And we saw something. It wasn't an animal dressed up or an actor. It was a room with a flickering light bulb, with only a frosted glass inside. We never had a good look at it, and we mumbled the word "no" over and over. It was a tall humanoid with knees bent forward. Arms were hanging too low, almost like a marionette with leathery skin. It was just there, twitching very slowly. Its face was stretched with extra skin, so there were no eyes or anything. Then it woke up and started banging on the glass, some of it shattering, and my friend tried to kick the wall before anything attacked us. Then I noticed something. The wall was crumbling a bit, like paper as we tore through. And then we were just back in the mountains, where we were previously. And as we turned behind us, we were outside of the tunnel where we came to that zoo. It was just leading to a warehouse, but behind it, still torn open as the creature from the frosted glass broke out and began to chase us out of the tunnel. We didn't see it again. But the last time we saw it was when it was running up a hill nearby, staring at us. I don't think the place we entered was even real, but apparently the creature we saw before we left showed up. There are more questions lingering than answers. The place appeared to have been torn down a long time ago. We didn't speak, just kept walking back through the trees, through the fog. We hoped that we weren't being followed, but as I checked my bag to grab one of my water bottles from the walk, I saw something. There was a torn zoo pamphlet inside. That place was real. At least, part of it was. Alright. That's actually not that bad. I like the part of the way they described the cryptids, like the Wendigo with the way apparently its head was surgically removed and replaced with the skull, but still some of it's like its brain and stuff was still in it, was still in the skull. That's some good stuff. Give it like a 4. But yeah, I'll add that in. I'm gonna pause the recording real quick so I can like take this thing off and get like a sips of water. Probably go and get some water, even though it is like, oh Jesus, oh jeez, it's like 1:44 in the morning. But I'm gonna go get a bottle of water, and I'll be back with like probably another story. All right, got my water. Oh shit. Think about it. Okay, this one up. Sorry. Wrote down the wrong pipe, but I got a straw in my water bottle so I can try to take this whole thing off. Alright. As I came back. Sorry. Excuse me. As I came back, I found before I continued recording, I found a, hold on. It's here in the way, man. Hold on. It's here in the way, man. Hold on. Yeah. As I, came back and before I continued with the recording, I found another story to read. It's almost the same length as the last one, called Rotting Animatronic at Spirit Halloween by, also, conveniently, also by JosephTheSnail. Joseph is actually a pretty good writer, I'll be honest. This one's got 4.6 stars. Ooh. I do love Spirit Halloween. I'm a very big Spirit Halloween guy. I like their stuff. Okay. We all knew Spirit Halloween. A store that is filled to the brim with the most messed up animatronics out there, ranging from screaming clowns, decayed zombies, demonically possessed children, and other stuff. Every year, they always push the limits with the level of gore and blood. What if I told you that there was an animatronic that never made it to the shelves? Well, you're in for a treat, so keep reading. You see, I worked at Spirit Halloween a few years back. Just a seasonal job to make extra money, but unfortunately, the pay was god-awful, but I loved the atmosphere there. Regardless, I'm typing this from memory. I don't really remember what year this took place in, but it was around the time when our boss, let's call him Eric, at our Spirit Halloween, noticed something odd. A new animatronic was delivered overnight, but for some reason, none of us remembered ordering it. It wasn't on the inventory list, and there was no box. It was just standing there, propped into the corner, as if it was always there. And holy... I was going to use the guy upstairs' name in vain, but holy Jesus Christ, it was really disturbing. You see, the thing was just dressed in ragged, blood-stained robes, and had this really rough, corpse-like face covered in gauze. Its stomach was torn open. Its arms hung limply at its sides. The design was just almost way too realistic, unlike the usual plastic figures we get. Excuse me. It was labeled, quote, God, limited edition. One of my co-workers, let's call him James, a best friend of mine actually, joked, dude, this thing looks straight out of Begotten, staring at me. I just smirked, clearly finding it a little funny. For those living under a rock, it was an old black and white movie where guy upstairs kills himself at the start, bleeding out in agonizing detail. It wasn't really the type of thing Spirit Halloween would ever base a prop on, but we shrugged it off and decided that it was just some promo item from corporate, so we just decided to set it up with the other animatronics. That's when things got weird. Take a break. Oop. I keep forgetting the mic is right there. Take a water break real quick. I know it looks weird. You know, with the straw going up in here and all, but like, it's the only way I can get my...
Because the only way I can get my water, okay?
Yeah, I can do that with my voice sometimes. Just a little background check, see if there's any demons hiding in my scary red atmosphere I've created for this specific video? Not really. Anyway. Alright, let's continue. A few days later, one of my co-workers, let's call him Mike, shouted. Guy upstairs, his name in vain again. Jesus Christ, what is that smell? I smelled it too. At first it was faint, just a whiff of something rotten, like old meat. We assured it was a dead rat somewhere in the store. But then the next week came. It got worse. It became so unbearable that even the customers started complaining. The air felt thick, suffocating, like something was decaying right in front of us. James looked at me in a serious way and said the following. It has to be coming from the god animatronic. There's no way. There's something off about it from the very start. I checked it up close. No mechanical issues, no rotting foam or plastic, but as I leaned into the animatronic, I can almost swear that I heard breathing from the other side. It was tiny. It was tiny. Wet gasps for air. That's when we noticed something was up. As the next day dropped by, we just assumed that the mechanics were glitching out. You could see one of our co-workers, Rob, check the cameras in the building to make sure there were no intruders until he noticed something. The animatronic would shudder, slightly, like a faulty animatronic struggling to move. However, the odd part is how it wasn't even plugged in at all. Ooh. One night, as we were closing up, I just saw it moving on its own. Just a slight twitch. Fingers flexing as though it was trying to grab something. We brushed it off as a trick of the lighting. Next few days were okay, until we saw the customer. This customer. A little girl, maybe 6 or... I swear, better be no jokes about this. 6 or 7. Can't remember. I was just staring at the animatronic one afternoon. Not usual, of course. People like viewing the animatronics on set, admiring them on occasion. However, I noticed the mother nudging her, like she couldn't move. Her face was pale. I almost wanted to ask what's wrong, as if we can care for our customer safety. Now, let me note that yes, our animatronics are horrifying. So people are obviously going to get pale once in a while, but she was pale as if she was about to collapse on the floor. I had my phone ready to call the ambulance, just in case, until, luckily, the girl was pulled away from her mother, moved again, but jerked herself to me and whispered in my ear, "He's trying to talk." "What do you mean by that exactly?" I asked. She looked up at me, eyes wide, and said, "He's joking." Then after that, the mother said that she was sorry and pulled her daughter out of the building, mumbling out of anger, saying something about grounding her or something. Oh, jeez. Oh, Jesus. Hey, prayers to the families. Voice critical reference. I stood there in fear, gained composure with everybody staring at the girl in confusion as she was being dragged out of the building. Then the next day, the smell got worse and worse. The entire store heard James snap, "I can't take the smell anymore. I can't take it. I can't take it!" James shouted as he grabbed the box cutter and sliced open the stomach of the animatronic, right where the prop's fake wound was. The moment the blade cut through the fabric, a wet, gargling noise came from the inside. It sounded real. The blood started pouring out. I placed my finger in it, sniffed it, my eyes widened in horror. The remaining customers in the building were watching the scene happen as I watched real, dark, stinking blood drenched onto the floor. Wait, did I read that right? I placed my finger in it, sniffed, my eyes widened in horror. The remaining customers in the building were watching the scene happen as I watched real, dark, stinking blood drenched into the floor. Something was thumping inside the animatronic, like a trapped animal. James and I stumbled back, and as I turned around at the customers, some of them were gasping, with children crying and holding on to their parents, as I shouted in a shaky voice, "Evacuate the building, now!" As the customers ran out of the building, James was staggering back as he started gagging. As the sobs and gasps started changing into screaming, we called the police immediately. When they arrived, they ripped the animatronic open completely. The insides weren't metal. There were no wires. There was a freaking man. His skin was gray, clammy, stretched over bone. His lips trembled as blood foamed at his mouth. I couldn't hold it anymore. I immediately ran into the cleaning supply closet and just threw up in a bucket. One of the officers panicked and rushed to help me. Oh, jeez. It's actually making me feel a bit queasy. Okay, we're back. Okay, where was I? I was about to pass out. I was given a water bottle. I drank it quickly and started to feel a bit better afterwards. I didn't want to. I checked the body closely again. I noticed the stomach was cut open and organs were barely contained. His eyes were rolled back into their sockets, barely aware, barely alive. We had to get our manager, Eric, to see this, and he muttered something in horror. James asked him what's wrong. He also found out something. Somebody was murdered in the store. We noticed that the body was dressed up, sewn into the costume. His arms were tied to the animatronic's frame. His body is positioned like a prop, and he had been rotting from the inside out. He was still twitching too. The manager said somebody murdered this man and made him into this messed up creation. Luckily, the manager didn't accuse us of the murder, but it had to be some other co-workers in the building. It was too late though. The man had died before the ambulance arrived, and the autopsy revealed that the man had been alive for at least a week, suffering in complete silence. I felt horrible for the man. He didn't deserve this at all. Since then, the manager had fired everybody in the store, except for me and James. However, as everyone was being kicked out, I noticed that Rob may have been the suspect. He's been quiet about the crime scene, and a father holding his crying son tightly said that he broke out in a sweat during the time when the body was discovered. When interviewed, yes, we were all interviewed, including the customers. We weren't treated like criminals, but we were asked about how we felt during the situation. People were interviewing us for super nice. The people, Jesus, I feel dyslexic right now. Yes, we were all interviewed, including the customers. We weren't treated like criminals, but we were asked about how we felt during the situation. The people interviewing us were super nice and vouched for us. Afterwards, when the Spirit Halloween location was being shut down and sealed off with yellow tape, we saw Rob being taken out of the building while handcuffed, with the police believing that he was the suspect responsible for this murder. That was the last of the location. That was the last of the location. As a few weeks went by, James and I, including Eric, moved to work at a different Spirit Halloween across town. I was looking at the new animatronics. James ran up to me and holding his phone and told me something that made me pause. Rob has been released. I looked at him for a moment and prayed that he learned his lesson. Since that day, if he was the sicko that murdered that man. Then I admired the animatronics, looking at the masks and everything as James walked away. Then I saw something standing in the corner. He was standing completely still. It had the same robes, the same outstretched hands, and the same open wound. I swear to God, I swear, I just saw a twitch. And that's the end of that one. That's fucking disgusting. Excuse my language. That's disgusting. But that was really, really good. I'm gonna be honest, that was actually a really good story. My God. That is... Oh, wait, the cover is like something that I think something that's actually supposed to resemble. Wow. That is... Ooh. I need to move the mic up a little bit. Like, ooh. Dude, the way he described the blood coming out and stuff. Oh God, started feeling a bit sick in that one. But yeah. Hold on. Whew. I think I could probably go got one more story. I'll be right back. And I'm going to pause this recording by pressing... Is there like an imaginary button I can press? I wonder. I actually got a button. Nah, no, I'm too lazy. But I'm going to pause the recording, and let's see if we can find another story. Alright. Took a bit of digging until I remembered that most of the other ones, the other stories I tried to look through were not really my type. Some of them included the act of the sewer of the slide. You all know what that means. Hopefully, if you're not like 2 years old. But until I remembered that there was a story literally like on the very top of the page that, like, as I'm recording this now, was released about 18 hours ago, called Doppelganger by Arden. God, I feel like what's his name from Basement Yard. The story is titled Doppelganger by Ardenla, and it is it's like about 6 minutes longer than the other ones, but apparently I guess it's supposed to be it's got the tags murder and ritual. Ooh, spooky. It's got a 4.0 rating. It's got a 4.0 star rating. All right, just hope that's not recording. Got a nice shirt too. Like the shirt and the jacket. All right. Originally, I take one last look around. One last look. I mean, on. Start over. Originally, I'd take one last look around the house, making sure again not to miss any little sound or the movement of someone or something, making sure that there really is only me. My mother should be at work, my sister at school. Double checking really won't hurt me. If I want to do this ritual, I need to be all alone, or at least I don't want anyone to find out or intrude. Right. The ritual. Hope it works. Recently, I found a strange ritual while surfing around on the internet. While there are many of those to be found, but this one stuck out to me. It's a ritual to summon a doppelganger. I know the dangers that come with it. I know that I probably shouldn't, but in a way, I can also not do it. I'm tired. School and work are a pain. All those birthday parties of family and family friends have been taking more from me than I'm able to eat cake. So I could definitely use some assistance. Damn. Well, let me just pause right there. The tired of school and work are a pain, and the birthdays, family and family friends part. I can kind of gonna be a little bit personal here, but like I can kind of relate to that part where like school and the birthdays and stuff. Dude, I can relate to that part. But anyway, I know that there's a high chance of this ritual being one big hoax, that it won't work at all, but I have to at least give it a try. If my mom found out, she'd probably be mad at me, saying things like, "Luna, you're 16. You're too old to be believing such nonsense." She's probably right. As I finally conducted that I really am alone, I let out a sigh of relief and closed my bedroom door. Quietly take out the stuff that I have to use from underneath my bed. Thank God no one noticed. I should find a better hiding spots for things like this. Takes me longer than I hoped to set everything in place. A mirror in the middle. I let the darkness swallow my room. Slowly light every candle. Yesterday I had already drawn the circle that was meant to be around the mirror. The mirror and me. It seems to still be there underneath my carpet. Still intact. Luckily. It's like, just gonna pause right there again. Okay, like, real world talk, don't do that. Just don't write a ritual circle on the, like, under your carpet. Like, if you're, like, gonna, like, don't do that. Like, on hardwood, don't do that. Like, do not do that at home. Sorry for breaking character a lot, but, like, yeah. I got some stuff in my brain. Got some problems with my brain. Anyway, anyway, back to the story. I apologize. I'm rambling a lot. Let me just get another sip of water real quick. Alright. Adjust my helmet a little bit. Okay. I'm going to have to clean this before my mom decides to snoop around. Meaning ASAP, after this ritual is finished. As I finally finish my preparations, I take my place in the circle, right before the mirror, and I say the spell I mentioned. I'm glad I prepared everything far in advance. After having finished speaking, I quietly stare into the dark mirror. The whole house is silent, but not even that. It's almost as if everyone in this town has decided to hold their breath. Even the wind has decided to remain silent. Is it because of what I'm doing right now? I can't help but secretly smirk. The dark mirror seems to reflect only the candles back at me. But then it gets strangely dark. Even so, the candles still remain as bright as ever. I see. So it's time. I take another step forward and slowly reach for the cold object. Well, it's not the only freezing object right now. It's as if my entire room is in ice age right now. I spot little clouds leaving my mouth every time I breathe out. The tiny flames of the candles flicker as a cold gust of wind leaves the mirror. Though the flames quickly fight against the wind and becoming bigger than... Wait, what? Though the flames quickly fight against the wind and become bigger and bigger than before, I can finally see something inside the mirror. Something is moving. I feel a sense of dread, but I try my hardest not to show it outward. If something goes wrong, it could be disastrous. Something shoots out of the mirror, grabbing on whatever it can hold on to. Right, if this happens, I hold the cold and slimy hand coming out of the mirror. Good morning, I say, making sure not to let it know my fear. I'm Luna. You will be my assistant from now on. The hand is still far from human as it clasps onto me with fingers far too long and thin. I can't help but shiver from its coldness. Luna, it says in a voice no human ever would. I nod slowly. Yes, that's me. But soon, also, you. Luna. Its voice mimicking my own, slowly sounding more like mine. So creepy. Its monstrous face slowly comes out of my mirror, looking at me with still empty eye sockets. Ooh. I want to scream, but I keep myself from doing so. So close. So close. So close. By the light of the candles, I see how the monster slowly takes on my form. It's a truly horrifying thing to witness. Something taking your form, taking your identity, something that has never been human before. Still, I feel glad that it works. I have tasks for this future doppelganger. A couple of hours later, staying in my room still isn't really me completely, but the resemblance grows closer by A couple of hours later, the thing in my room still isn't still really me completely, but the resemblance grows closer by the minute. I try to teach it manner of speech and my manner of movement, something it seems to have difficulty with. Slowly, I teach it how to help with the cleaning up of my room, it's part of the reason for summoning it in the first place. Luna, are you home? I hear my mother call from downstairs. Be quiet, I hush the monster, hiding it in my closet. Yes, Mom, I'm coming. I call to my mother. I rush downstairs to greet her. She smiles at me. I don't feel like cooking tonight, so we're going to order pizza. You won't mind that, right? I smile back. Of course not. I do have a lot of homework, though. Do you mind if I eat upstairs? Hard at work, I see. Well, then it's okay. But take it easy, alright? I nod and head back upstairs. Back to my doppelganger. I try to teach it as much as possible, and as the pizza arrives, we eat mine together. After finishing it, I go downstairs to bring the empty box. My mom's sitting in front of the TV with my sister. She turns to me. Hey Luna, how's your homework going? I smile. Pretty good. I think I'm almost finished. I see her face suddenly turning grave. Oh shit, I think shit's about to go down. My bad. I see her face suddenly turning grave. Luna dear, please be careful whenever you're going out with friends. I wonder why she's saying something like that. What do you mean? There's been a murder going around. That's what on the news has been telling just a couple of minutes ago. See. I'll be careful. Thank you. Thank you. My mom smiles and turns back to the TV to continue watching the show they were watching. The next morning, my doppelganger looks the exact same as me, and I decide to send it to school. It shouldn't hurt too much. It's a short day, perfect for training to be me. Meanwhile, I can do things I want to do. Sighed doppelganger. Ooh! Oh, this is actually sick. We get both perspectives. We get Luna's side, and we get like Luna, like the side of like the part of Luna summoning the doppelganger, and now we're about to read. Excuse the interruption, but like we're about to like read what the doppelganger is gonna go through. All right. Get a sip of water. All right. Alright, side of the doppelganger. On the second day of my existence, I'm sent to a place human beings call school. Supposedly it's a place where older humans send their young ones to learn about the world and working in it. To be honest, I'm feeling the emotions humans call anxiousness. Supposedly, it's normal for doing something for the first time. Or at least that's what my master has told me. I've been given a phone, a device meant to call other humans. I'm also able to use it, excuse me, to find the way, with the help of a map. Not peculiar. I've mesmerized all the students Luna has told me about, and has shown the pictures of. Supposedly she doesn't talk that often with others, so I shouldn't try too hard to befriend everyone. I take the bag given to me and take my way towards the building called school. It doesn't take me long to find it. Many people from around my master's age are walking inside one by one, like ants. When entering the room, I'm supposed to be greeted by their classmates. I greet them back in a way that was taught to me. After about 4 hours, it's time to go home again. Luna told me that 4 hours was a short day, and home was the place where you live. I enter the house with the help of a key, a small object that can open locks. Hi Luna, how was your school? How was school today? A lady Luna calls Mom greets me. Hi Mom, it was nice. She looks a bit surprised. Not just okay. Is this not what my master normally responds with? I hesitate for a moment. I have to make it look natural. Yet I wasn't informed how to handle this situation. It was nice. I had English literature. Some yesterday. I learned that Luna likes to read, so she probably does not dislike that class too much. Mom laughs. You look so shocked. I'm glad to hear that you had a nice day. Did you read something nice? I nod quickly and think back to the book we read. William Wilson. I answer honestly. No, I didn't know you enjoyed such classics. I didn't know either. She smiles at me. I guess this is a sign that I have to ask something back. How was your day? Mom smiles and tells me that it's normal for humans to complain about their days. Supposedly it's normal for humans to complain about their days. Pardon. Wait, what was it? Wait, what? I do not understand why, but I will remember it for future reference. A couple of days end up going by. Almost each one I'm going to school or visiting my master's family. Alright, let me pause for a minute. Gotta move my mouth a little bit. It's a bit stiff. I feel like, okay, back to the story. I feel like I'm doing something wrong. My classmates seem to be getting closer to me. Luna always says that they don't care about her, but it seems like she has been mistaken. I remember their likes and dislikes and talk about it with them, causing me to learn a great deal about them, something which they seem to appreciate. Honestly, I might even be able to call them what humans call nice, or kind even. They show a great deal of care, after all. Luna decided to remain in her room, going out unseen from time to time. Though there are also times when it's my turn to hide for her and for her to fulfill her role as herself. I wonder what she does whenever I am at school or working at her job. Or even when I'm visiting her family. I am able to fool every one of them almost perfectly. Though I do have to be careful. I'm not fully human yet, after all. My blood still has to gain the right color, and I have the ability to go through mirrors. But I know soon I will lose it. One of the longer days at school when excuse me. Oh, I'm so sorry. So sorry. One of the longer days at school, I talked with some of Luna's, I guess it would be better to say, my friends. They didn't seem to have spent time with the real Luna, after all. Luna, what do you think about it? One of my friends asks. What do you mean? I didn't really follow everything. Well, the recent murders. Look at her. They do scare me a little. My friend smiles back at me, in a slightly concerned manner. Me too, girl. Me too. If you want to, you don't mind walking together. We do need to go the same way for a bit, after all. A brighter smile appears on her face. That would be great. In the back of the class, I can hear some people whispering about me, or about Luna. Luna has gotten very sociable recently, hasn't she? Yeah, it's almost like she's been replaced with a completely different person. Well, she changed for the better, so if you ask me, she's always seemed way too proud of herself. A little bubble. I can feel my stomach turn as I hear the word replace leave their lips. I know I shouldn't let it get to me, but I also need to convince everyone that I'm really Luna. My friends seem to have noticed the whispering too, and it makes me uncomfortable. So that they make their way to those have a stern talking to with them. What? Hold on. Let me circle back on that real quick. Let me reread this real quick. I kind of lost track of what I was doing, what I was reading. My friends seem to have noticed the whispering too. It makes me uncomfortable. So they make their way to those that have a stern talking to with them. Truly just telling them to shut the hell up and to mind their own business. After school, I walk with my friends until our ways split. When I'm on my own again, I suddenly walk into my master. Shocked, I look at her. She looks angry and starts walking towards me rapidly. I told you, she whispers threateningly. We should not be seen together. I nod. You enter the house first. I'll take the window. Luna hisses to me as she finds herself a place to hide. Obediently, I enter the house first. I'm greeted by Luna's sister. Hey, sis. She greets me with a somber look. Hey, something wrong? I ask in a kind tone. I was taught by my friends. Oof. Yeah. I feel really stiff now. Yeah, it's nothing. I mean, it's just towels. Never mind. The girl gives me another sad smile. Yeah. Have you seen Nibbles anywhere? Nibbles is her hamster, or so I was told. No, I haven't. I shake my head while answering. I see. He's still missing. If you find him, please bring him to me. I will. I answer for some reason. The look on her face makes me sad, too. The first time I felt that. Something about this whole thing is wrong. It's like a little voice in the back of my mind, constantly nagging in the back of my mind, telling me that something is very, very wrong. I decided to go against my master's wishes and do my own research on the ritual that summoned me. I need to do it in secret, so as not to let her know. Back at school, I start searching on one of the computers about the ritual. After school, I walk back with my friends again. I begin to fear for their safety, but I try to keep it to myself. It's getting dark outside, and Luna is yet to return. Against their wishes, I use, with great difficulty, a little of the power left in me to see around what part of this town she could be and sneak out of the house. It's really dark now. Even the moon seems to have hidden itself in a cloud, fearing it for the worst. Oh no. Oh no. Within about half an hour, I find myself at the abandoned warehouse. She really is here, isn't it? I quietly slip inside, making sure not to make a peep. As my eyes get used to the even darker inside of the building, I see something that scares me. A shadow, my height, my body type, standing above a smaller shadow, someone that seems to be lying down. That shadow looks like me. Plunges a knife into the body beneath her. What the hell? I can't help it. I've given away my location. The shadow turns to me. There's no mistaking it. That's Luna. That's my master who summoned me into this world. I'm her alibi. But Hunch was right. Horrible memories of my research come back fresh into my mind. What did you sacrifice? I start yelling. What did you sacrifice? I start yelling. Unable to control my own emotions any longer. Luna just smiles at me. Somehow, in a way, I never believed I myself could. Crooked, horrid, are some of the words that come to mind. It is said that that a sacrifice has to be done to complete the ritual. So who or what I did, Let me reread that real quick. Circle back. It said that a sacrifice has to be done to complete the ritual. So who or what did you kill? I continue my rant. The shadow lying on the floor has long stopped moving. I have to let someone know what's going on. But how? Without putting any real thought into it, I describe how to throw the object known as a phone towards the shadow that I look like. Luna avoids it without problem. That, dear Doppelganger, was the last thing you should have thrown away in this situation. Just what does she mean by that? Luna continues. And they said that you would be the perfect Doppelganger. Bullcrap. You're just getting in my way, and you were summoned to serve me and only me. How come that you decided to make your own decisions? Her speech is quiet, yet threatening, somehow making my body turn cold. Right. If I were to find a mirror, I'd look around scanning my surroundings quickly. As if reading my mind. Do not laugh. There are no mirrors in this building. She was almost within arm's reach, so I swiftly take a couple steps back, bumping with my back into a wall I didn't know was there. Suddenly her face changes from smiling to one of hatred. She slashes her knife into my shoulder. I scream in pain, but I'm able to get further away from her. I press my hand against my wound. Running for my life, I find myself cornered again. I know this place better than you, Luna says in a threatening tone. She pushes me down without problem. She's clearly used to killing people for a long time now. Yet I've never seen even come close to learning about it. Not that I would want to. I look at my hand as that was pressing the wound. My blood slowly starts to turn red. I've lost my powers. I'm not completely human. There couldn't be a worse time. The one whose likeness I'm able to represent bows down before me. Don't worry. To summon you, I didn't kill a human. Animals work pretty well, too. They leave a less of a mess. Her blood-stained blade glittering in the little light entering the building. My body has started trembling uncontrollably. What was this emotion again? Fear? My master readies herself and then slashes me one last time. The last thing I say is something I don't have any control over. Please, I mutter. I don't want to die. And then the blade plunges itself into my body, spraying red all over the room. It hurts, yet I don't feel anything. It's all going too fast. Finally, the place turns dark. And that's the end of that one. Woof. That is a dark turn. Wow. The fact that she basically summoned this doppelganger of herself. Basically summoned it so that she could go out and kill people. Wow. I wasn't expecting that twist. That was actually a pretty good twist. I actually like that a lot. And for a story that came out like a few hours ago, that's a pretty good story. I like that one. That one was written by Ardenla. That's actually a pretty good story. Wow. Yeah. Okay. I'm pretty sure I've been recording this for about, an entire hour. It is also 2:41 a.m. I have to go to school tomorrow, unfortunately. So I will have to end this video here. And that is all I got for this. I'm going to try and see if I can edit this. Probably edit that part where I'm dying of coughing. And I will guess I'll probably make another one tomorrow if I feel like it. Or probably just make a video reading actual random stories from Wattpad. I'm not a big fan of that one. I'm going to be honest with you. That's where all the to me, that's where like Wattpad is like where the weird fanfic stuff goes. But this is about to be an hour-long video. You know what I mean? It kind of compares to her video. Like the video that I got this idea from was like 43 minutes. I got on longer because I think I read like longer stories. But yeah. And of course, to prove that this mic, I think, actually works. Let's see. I hope that works. Anyway, I hope if anyone watches this video, I hope you enjoyed this. And if you got all the way to this, feel free to, I guess, as most YouTubers say, like and subscribe, I guess. It's just what YouTubers tell their viewers to do. And if you want the more, I guess, if you want to find where I do a bunch of silly stuff, there's my TikTok. Wait, hold on, I need to check my YouTube. Does my YouTube have the same name and stuff? It does. Yeah, you can find my TikTok, which is also known as Linux29. And yeah, I guess that's it for these spooky stories, I guess. If you want to find more of these stories, you can go to the website Nightscribe. I will put these stories that I've read in the description, if I can. And yeah, that's all I got. Anyways, this video was proven fact and true by the by Huntrix. Yeah, I don't know. I'm out of ideas. Anyways, yeah, this video was factual, is authenticated by Huntrix, I guess. Yeah, that's it. See ya.